Patrick Mahomes is absolutely electric. Standing at 6 feet 2 inches and weighing 225 pounds, this Texas-born quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs has already won 3 Super Bowls and 3 Super Bowl MVPs before turning 30. But here's the thing about Patrick Mahomes. Behind those no-look passes and impossible throws, there's a story that's way more fascinating than you might think. Here are 10 things you probably didn't know about the man they call Showtime. His best friend was his biggest competition. Here's something that will blow your mind about Mahomes' high school career. For over 4 years, Patrick was locked in the most intense quarterback battle you've never heard of, against his absolute best friend, Ryan Cheatham. These two weren't just competing for the starting spot at White House High School in Texas. They were literally best friends who hung out every weekend, playing Call of Duty and creating what Mahomes calls chicken fried puddles, mixing up chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, and drowning it all in ketchup at midnight sleepovers. Now here's the crazy part. They split snaps for 3 straight years, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. Coaches couldn't decide between them because they were both that good. Cheatham was the classic pocket passer, while Mahomes was the wild card with that unconventional arm strength. When Mahomes finally won the job in a rainy game against rival Sulphur Springs, Cheatham made the ultimate sacrifice. He switched to wide receiver and became Mahomes' favorite target. That relationship? It's the exact blueprint for what we see today with Travis Kelce. Sometimes the most important competition comes from the people who want you to succeed the most. He almost chose baseball over football and nearly walked away from football entirely. Most people know Patrick's dad was an MLB pitcher, but here's what you probably don't know. Mahomes was actually a better baseball prospect than football prospect coming out of high school. In his senior year, he threw a no-hitter with 16 strikeouts, and scouts were calling him a potential early-round MLB draft pick. The Detroit Tigers selected him in the 37th round of the 2014 MLB draft and offered him over $1 million to skip college and go straight to pro baseball. But here's where it gets really interesting. During his sophomore year at Texas Tech, when he was playing safety instead of quarterback, Mahomes was so frustrated that he seriously considered quitting football altogether. He had that tough conversation with his mom, Randy, where she told him, "You're going to regret it if you quit." Think about that for a second. We almost lived in a world where Patrick Mahomes never became an NFL quarterback. He stuck with it, won the starting job as a junior, and the rest is history. But man, imagine if he'd chosen differently. His ketchup obsession is real, and it has its own supply chain. You've probably heard about Mahomes and ketchup, but the reality is even more extreme than you think. Ryan Cheatham's mom literally kept 2 ketchup bottles in her refrigerator, one for the family and one specifically for Patrick Mahomes. That's not a joke. This man loves ketchup so much that his first major endorsement deal was with Hunt's Ketchup Company, and he puts it on everything. But here's the detail that'll make you laugh. In college, his teammates watched him put ketchup on perfectly good steaks. We're talking about high-quality beef, and this future NFL superstar is reaching for the ketchup bottle. The Hunt's people couldn't have asked for a better spokesperson. They didn't even have to pay him to do it. They just had to give him a lifetime supply. Now that's what I call a perfect brand partnership. He broke multiple NCAA records in a single game, in a loss. Here's a moment that perfectly captures who Patrick Mahomes is as a competitor. October 22nd, 2016, Texas Tech versus Oklahoma. A game that should be in the College Football Hall of Fame. Mahomes threw for 734 yards and ran for another 85, giving him 819 total yards of offense in one game. That's an NCAA record that still stands today. To put that in perspective, that's like throwing the ball from one end zone to the other end zone, then doing it 6 more times in one game. But here's the kicker. They lost 66-59. Most quarterbacks would be devastated, but Mahomes walked off that field knowing he'd just done something no one in college football history had ever done. That game was basically a preview of his entire career, putting up video game numbers and making the impossible look routine. Baker Mayfield, who was Oklahoma's quarterback that day, threw for over 500 yards himself. and he was completely overshadowed. That's the Mahomes effect. He uses his platform to bridge communities. Patrick Mahomes is biracial, his father Pat is black, and his mother Randy is white, and he's been incredibly thoughtful about using his platform to address important social issues. What's really cool is how he's talked about drawing inspiration from Negro League baseball players, especially Satchel Paige, when developing his creative playing style. He said that his unconventional throws and arm angles come from studying those pioneers who had to be creative to compete. After George Floyd's murder, Mahomes joined with teammates to create a video encouraging the NFL to take a stronger stance against police brutality. He's also worked with LeBron James on voter registration initiatives and was named to Time Magazine's 100 Most Influential People list 3 times. This isn't just a guy who happens to be good at football. He's using his influence to make a real difference. And he does it all while staying true to who he is, never trying to be something he's not. Basketball makes him who he is. You probably think of Mahomes as a football-first guy, but here's a surprise. Basketball was actually his favorite sport growing up. He was a die-hard Duke fan and would get into heated arguments with his teammate Coleman Patterson, who was a UNC fan, about whether J.J. Redick or Tyler Hansbrough was better. This wasn't just casual fandom. Mahomes had a Duke jersey that he wore constantly. What's fascinating is how his basketball skills translate to his quarterback play. That footwork you see when he's scrambling around in the pocket, that's point guard instincts. Those no-look passes, pure basketball. The way he can change his arm angle mid-throw, he developed that shooting from different positions on the basketball court. Patrick has said multiple times that his basketball background is what allows him to see the field the way he does and make those impossible throws that leave defenders scratching their heads. And his baseball background is his secret weapon. Here's something most people don't realize about Mahomes' success. His ability to read defenses comes directly from his years as a baseball pitcher. When you're on the mound, you're constantly reading the batter, looking for tells, adjusting your strategy based on the count and the situation. That's exactly what Mahomes does when he's surveying a defense before the snap. His father, Pat, has talked about how Patrick learned to study hitters' tendencies and adjust his approach accordingly. Now he does the same thing with linebackers and safeties. That split-second decision-making, that ability to see what's coming before it happens, that's not just football IQ, that's pitcher instincts. Plus, all those years of throwing to different bases from weird arm angles, that's why he can complete passes that other quarterbacks can't even attempt. Baseball didn't just make him a better athlete, it made him a better quarterback. He almost never became the Chiefs' starter. Here's a story that'll make you believe in destiny. The Kansas City Chiefs had to trade up from the 27th pick to the 10th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft to get Mahomes, giving up their first-round pick the following year to make it happen. But even after they drafted him, the plan was for him to sit behind Alex Smith for at least a year, maybe 2. Then something unexpected happened. Smith had a career year in 2017, and some people thought the Chiefs might stick with him long-term. But Andy Reid and the Chiefs front office made the bold decision to trade Smith to Washington, handing the keys to a quarterback who had started exactly 1 NFL game. That decision was based on what they saw in practice and that one start against Denver, where Mahomes completed 22 of 35 passes for 284 yards in a win. Imagine if they'd gotten cold feet and kept Smith for another year. The entire trajectory of the Chiefs franchise and maybe NFL history would be completely different. He's building a business empire beyond football. While most players are focused solely on their sport, Mahomes is quietly building a business empire that's going to outlast his playing career by decades. He's a minority owner of the Kansas City Royals, Sporting Kansas City, and the Kansas City Current women's soccer team. He's investing in everything from Whataburger franchises to Formula One racing teams with Travis Kelce. But here's the part that shows his business acumen. He's not just throwing money around randomly. His Whataburger investment group operates 11 of the 14 locations in Kansas City, and they're strategically placed throughout Chiefs Kingdom. He's also part of an ownership group trying to bring a WNBA team to Kansas City. This isn't just about making money, it's about building something lasting in the community that made him a star. In 2025, he and Kelsey opened a steakhouse called 1587 Prime. The guy's thinking 20 years ahead while still playing at an elite level. His contract isn't just about money, it's about legacy. Everyone knows about Mahomes' massive contract, but here's what makes it truly special. It's not just about the money, it's about what it represents. When he signed that 10-year, $503 million extension in 2020, he became the first athlete in history to sign a $500 million deal. But the really smart part? The contract is structured so the Chiefs can build around him long-term. Most superstar athletes want every penny up front, but Mahomes worked with the team to create a deal that gives Kansas City flexibility to sign other top players. He literally took less guaranteed money so his team could stay competitive. Think about that. A 25-year-old quarterback turning down immediate cash to increase his chances of winning more championships. That's not just smart business. That's championship mindset. And it's working. 3 Super Bowl wins and counting. With a team-friendly deal that runs through 2031. He's not just playing for today, he's building a dynasty. Patrick Mahomes isn't just changing how we think about the quarterback position. He's redefining what it means to be a superstar athlete in the modern era. From that teenage quarterback battle that taught him about competition and friendship, to building a business empire while chasing a three-peat, this guy is operating on a completely different level. So here's my question for you. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below.